Welcome back to the Last Week This Week podcast, episode 43. I'm Ian Scott.
And I'm Zack Huber.
And this is the podcast where we discuss the events of last week and this week. And we got a lot of nerd topics to go over with you guys.
We do.
Yeah, we got the new Avatar: The Last Airbender Netflix trailer.
Yeah. We also got
exciting.
Some, you thought it was gone. It's not gone. It'll never die because they're dinosaurs. We got maybe a confirmation that Jurassic World is coming back with its original writer.
Yep. We're going to talk about the Oscars.
The Oscars.
Yeah.
Ian was not so excited to talk about the Oscars, but I'm kind of excited to talk about
I'm not an Oscars guy, is just being honest, you know. But if you're into it, then we're going to talk about it. And so, yeah, and then lastly, we also have some Madam Web news and some more Daredevil news. So, yeah, get ready for a bunch of those topics.
Some anime, some dinosaurs, some celebrities taking Ozempic, and then some superheroes.
I guess you can consider it Avatar in a way. I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of up for debate, but yeah.
Right.
But yeah, let's jump into that trailer.
Yeah, so I'm gonna let you lead the charge on this one since you are the almighty Avatar guy.
Yeah, so I really and I know myself, like I came into this trailer wanting to hate it.
You wanted it to never happen in the first place.
Yeah, I mean maybe if like the original creators had stayed on and had followed through with like the entire show, but the fact that they dropped out because Netflix was too involved was just the sign to me that like this isn't going to be worth it. But visually,
this is a bastardization of everything you love.
Pretty much. But yeah, visually, I have to say they killed it. They blew me away. Most of the bending looked really great. A lot of the cinematic kind of moments of the show are even like more kind of dramatic and more cinematic, if you would say that. And then they did a great job with showing off a ton of locations in this trailer.
They did,
that were also visually beautiful. So it like seeing a bunch of those locations definitely like I wrote some notes down. They had
came prepared, ladies and gentlemen.
They obviously showed Aang coming out of the ball of ice at the South Pole. They showed the Fire Nation attacks on the air temples. They showed Kyoshi Island. They showed Ember Island. Not Ember Island, sorry. Well, I'm blanking. I think it's Roku.
You're thinking
Roku's
of Fire Island. The
Fire Island. Yeah, whatever that island is called.
The island where all the music fans got stuck at. Do you know about Fire
music fans?
It's a bad joke.
Oh, okay. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah. And then they have the Earth Kingdom forest with that panda spirit. They have Omashu, and then kind of like at least from what I saw, this location was interesting. I don't know if you remember that scene in the trailer where like it's very brief, but like it looks like Zuko and Iroh are like running. And then it cuts like straight to Azula, like they're in a forest and they're running. To me, that looked like the end of season 1, where those two are like on the run and they have to cut off their hair and become like new people basically. So that I think there's a few things to really be excited about. Where the movie, even though I've never seen it because I refuse to.
I've never seen it either.
From what I hear is that they skipped over so much of the story. And what I was worried about with this show was that it was only going to be 8 episodes. And I was like, oh no, they're going to skip over a ton of the story again. But my hope is with showing off a bunch of those locations, and I don't think they're obviously showing off everything, that we'll get to see most of season 1 in this. So I think this trailer is showing off a lot of good things. And I can't say I'm mad about anything except maybe like the portrayal of Sokka. Like that's maybe it. But yeah, I can't say I can complain too much with this one.
Now, you told me when this was announced, I'm not even going to watch it, Zach. Like, has this brought you over to the other side where you are now going to you are going to watch it?
Look, here's the thing. I still haven't decided that. Like, I would still be okay not watching it
because look, you're not doing any, as far as I'm aware. It doesn't seem like you're doing anything harmful if you just watch it.
Look, I guess, like, I'm already supporting Netflix by having Netflix. But I guess the thing is that I would be supporting a show that doesn't have the support of the original creators, and I don't think.
Well, you could criticize it.
Well, but what if it's good, huh? Like,
well, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you there.
Yeah, but like, I was surprised I didn't find myself annoyed at, like, Aang and Katara's voices. Like, they didn't really bother me at all. So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot to entice me into watching this, but I don't know if it's enough to, like, fully get me on board here. Yeah.
Okay. Well, to be honest, this is going a lot more positive than I thought it was going to.
Yeah. Gosh, they even had the bounty hunter lady from their first season. I really didn't think we were going to get to see that. There was just a lot of little details from that first season that I'm pleasantly surprised we're seeing. It's very cool to see all of those, like, battles and climactic moments from the series in a very, like, visually breathtaking format. It's very neat. I'm gonna give it some props.
Now, when you're saying that the bending looked really good, are you referring to the people's bodies bending, or are you referring to the?
You know what I mean. Like, I don't think it looks perfect
with their acrobatic abilities in this trailer.
I think the movements along with the bending, I think it does work. I don't think I was talking about the movements, but it didn't bother me, so it must work.
Okay.
So, but yeah, no, I think maybe at points, like, the fire looks a little slow, but, like, I'm very much nitpicking there.
The
like,
fire looked a little slow to me.
Like, yeah, like, I have to nitpick this trailer because, like, well, you know what I mean. I've seen it in an animated format, so yeah, like, I this is probably a boring segment for some people because I'm not bashing this thing.
No.
But I can't in good faith bash it.
Yeah, I've been watching the Percy Jackson series, which
nice.
Which I've seen comparisons, which to, like, and people didn't necessarily love the movies, but, like, I've seen comparisons that, like, some things were better done in the movie, some things are better done in the TV show. I'll say,
wow, I'm surprised.
I'll say, in general, the TV show far surpasses the movies.
Right.
And you're concerned with not being able to see, like, they're going to rush things because it's 8 episodes. Those animated
right.
episodes, how long was each one? Like 20 minutes?
Basically, like 21-ish minutes, right?
So, and how many episodes were in a season?
So 20 episodes per season. So if they go a full hour with each of these 8 episodes, then I'm okay. But if they go, like, the Disney route where, like, it fluctuates and it can drop down to, like, half an hour an episode, I think that is where they're going to get in some trouble.
I feel like traditionally Netflix usually goes for the hour.
Okay.
So, but I could be wrong. But I think after seeing the Percy Jackson show and the amount of details that is in that, I know it doesn't have everything, but it has kept a lot of things that I was like, oh, I totally forgot about that, and that and that happened in the book. That did not happen in the movie. I am hoping that this show will do a good job of showing things. To be honest, I've not seen it since, like, I've not seen the Avatar show in a long time, so I'm not going to remember what's in season 1, what's in season 2. Like, I know the big beats, but I don't know all the stuff in between.
Funny enough, I do like to wait quite a long time in between watches, and I do think it's been, like, at least 3 years for me now. So I think I'm nearing another watch.
it does make me want to watch the show again. Just like watching Percy Jackson makes me want to like read the books again. So needless to say, I thought it looked good. I think it also has a similar vibe to Percy Jackson, where it's these very young kids, because they're kids, with these incredible abilities in this fantastic world. And it's not completely PG, but it's also not very, like, it's not super dark either. It's this nice, believable world. And like, I don't know, sometimes with kids, I can get kind of like Scoble Walker from Percy Jackson. He's got a weird voice. And I really didn't think that I'd like it, but over time, like, you just kind of get used to it. And I think that's probably what's going to happen with this show, because with the animated show,
I hope so with Sokka,
the voice is just like, they could be so exaggerated, and now it's like, it's a bit.
I think I am worried about that too. Like, I don't know. Like, in my mind, they don't feel exaggerated. They just feel like they're characters with like full of personality, and I'm a little worried that like Aang is going to lose some of that personality because the kid is so young, and I don't know if he's like a good actor or not.
Right.
And yeah, like, I am worried about Sokka and how he's going to sound, but maybe I will get used to it. And I'm also like still not a fan of how like Zuko and Azula look. I think they look far too young. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Zuko does seem a little young, doesn't he?
Right? I mean, he looks like very close to the same age as Katara, or maybe even Aang. Like, I don't know. They just maybe not close to Aang, but I don't know. He should be older.
Right. But overall,
yeah,
I think it looks good. I'm excited for it to come out. And if you don't watch it, then I can just tell you all about it.
I'll let you know. I still have not made a decision. I don't know if I will before.
I don't know if I ever will. Go to my grave and be like,
should I watch it?
I heard it's one of the best TV shows of all time, but they didn't include the original creator.
Look, you know what? The reason why I'm even tempted to not even go there even more is because the original is one of the greatest television shows of all time, and anything else isn't going to be as good. Like, I just don't think it will be. So,
and
I don't know.
If they remade Star Wars, I would watch the remake because I still have the original.
Yeah. Look, you make some good points. You do.
Thank you.
I'm not going to disagree.
Thank you.
But yeah, that's my thoughts on Avatar. I don't know if that's all of your thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah. You can speak for me. That's fine.
Well, the next topic we wanted to talk about here is I think one that we're not the happiest with.
Bringing things back to life from the dead. Dead franchises, dinosaurs.
So yeah, basically it was announced that there's probably going to be a Jurassic World sequel type movie. It's not going to relate to that trilogy, but it will be in the same universe, and I think it's going to be after that trilogy, but with a new storyline, new characters. I think we are both so burned by the last two movies, some of the worst movies I've ever seen, that I don't think I will ever want another Jurassic movie again. And having the, and I didn't even say this, the original writers coming back, but after what you had sent me earlier with what he had done since, I think I'm not excited at all about that, because he has had a horrible track record since. So yeah, I don't know if you wanna pull up that list.
So all right, so yes, he has. So it's David Coep. And he is the writer from the original Jurassic Park with Steven Spielberg, the best one, maybe minus The Lost World, because I love The Lost World, but it's probably the best one.
But I also love Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah, that's me. Well, sorry, That's why I meant Jurassic Park 3. I thought that was the Lost World.
Okay.
Maybe it's not that.
I think Lost World is 2.
I think you might be right.
I'm pretty sure.
He also wrote Mission Impossible, but with what?
The first one?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool. All right, that's a good movie.
But the other movies that he's written also include Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull, and he's also written The Mummy with Tom Cruise, which I know some people are not a big fan of.
Right.
And he wrote my worst movie of the year this past year, which was Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Yeah.
So few things. Maybe he's lost his spark. Maybe
he's lost the sauce.
Maybe it's more on the director, like Steven Spielberg's a great director. I would contend that I still enjoy Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull definitely much more than Dial of Destiny, much more than, I think some other people. I cannot speak for The Mummy. I did not see The Mummy. But he also wrote Kimmy, which I heard is a lot of people like. And so I don't know. It's a mixed bag, but I will say getting the original guy hopefully is a positive sign. I did not see the 5th movie, like the sequel to the first Jurassic World that came out with Chris Pratt.
You would have hated it.
But I did see the first one with Chris Pratt, and I did see the last one. And my God, the last Jurassic World Dominion. Oh my God, that is a bad movie.
Yeah, it is. I don't know how you can, like, as a studio, approve those 2 scripts.
Well, because regardless of how bad they were, made money.
Sure. I mean, Jurassic World Dominion made over $1 billion.
Yeah.
It was one of the top performing movies of the year.
This is the last one, guys. And we all went, yeah, right.
But from what I heard, like very soon after, or like while it was still in theaters, is that like these movies are making enough money to where they won't stop making Jurassic Park movies or Jurassic World movies. It's just, they're just going to move on to another part of that universe and just keep building. So yeah, that's clearly what they're doing.
And I mean, look, Prey, which was the movie,
Predator spinoff.
The Predator, well, spinoff, kind of, but
it's still a spinoff. It's same the universe.
Yeah, but it's hard to call it like a spinoff because what are you spinning it off from?
Sure. I mean, yeah, if we want to nitpick, I guess.
Well, all right, whatever. But look at Prey. Completely took a dead franchise that was not doing particularly well, made it into a survival horror, went back to the roots kind of story, and added this interesting twist of having it so far in the past that this woman has to kill. This Native American woman has to kill a predator with no technology, just what they had. If you try to, and I hear good things about the Aliens movie that's coming out, but if you take that same approach with Jurassic Park, make it a movie about something else than this world globe-trotting, amusement park sort of thing, I think that would be better. I don't think that the amusement park aspect and things go wrong. I think it hasn't been.
We've seen it twice.
And the third Jurassic Park movie that we like a lot. That was a plane went down into the island, and it was to get the daughter, I think, the son back to the family.
Yeah.
And it was great,
You're right.
So maybe go back to
that kind of small story-esque. Keep it low stake. Well, low stakes for the world, I guess. But I don't know.
Dinosaurs crossing continents, and even when we got Dominion, where the dinosaurs are in the other countries, in cities, it was oh cool, they're gonna fuck shit up. We saw 4 minutes of it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, like let's make the whole concept of our movie be this unrealistic concept, and then let's do nothing with it.
Let's
So
make a black market with dinosaurs.
God, so bad. But yeah, I don't know. It's funny. Before you brought up Jurassic Park 3 and how that's kind of the similar story, I was like, well, the only way you can go back to like the roots and go like, let's visit the park again and see how things go wrong is like if you went so far in the future, right? And like the park was like completely decayed and it was just overrun by dinosaurs, and somehow like you crashed there or you got stuck there and you had to escape. Like that's the only way I think this works, if you make it like very horror-esque and kind of like refresh the franchise. But
yeah, it's missing the horror because Jurassic Park, regardless of the fantasy, was kind of a horror movie.
Kind of, yeah. There are some scary moments.
You know,
looking back, sure.
So I don't know, but I'm of course I'm gonna want to watch it because it's dinosaurs. But
Zach, don't be a part of the problem. We can't support these guys anymore. Okay,
look, they're
just gonna keep making movies.
Look, this is not this is not anything to do with Universal. This has everything to do with the fact that I love dinosaurs. I wanted to see that, what was it called, 65 with Adam Driver. I went, oh, there's dinosaurs.
I can't believe you thought that looked good.
I still want to see it.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I still want to see it. I didn't hear terrible things about it, to be honest.
I didn't hear good things about it.
Maybe it wasn't like the movie of the spring, but like it looked pretty fun.
Yeah.
This is more of I just love dinosaurs. Okay.
Yeah. But you can't wait for like it to come on streaming or something. You know, you have to see it in theaters.
Okay, if it looks stupid, then no, I won't.
Okay.
You know, I think we wanted to see Jurassic World Dominion because, but here's the thing, even if it looks stupid, I might want to go see it because it's how stupid it is.
Oh man, but it wasn't like the last one wasn't even fun stupid. It was just like, oh my God, another fucking dinosaur chase.
It was just and it was predictable and it was
and boring.
Yeah, that's the worst movie, is boring.
Right. Yeah, because it was like the dialogue was terrible, and then you just had like chasing after chasing after chasing, and you're just like, I don't care. No one's going to die. Like I don't care. So I don't know. It's just,
I know this has turned into just us, unleashing our trauma that we got from watching Jurassic Park or Jurassic World Dominion, but needless to say, I hope it's good. If hopefully with the original writer, there's some promise to that. But like we said, he wrote some stuff that's kind of very hit and miss apparently. So, but I wouldn't necessarily blame some of the script of Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny. Like there's things about it I don't like. Obviously, I think the story in general is just kind of like boring. But like, I also just think that like it was just directed weird, So like,
you think so? Okay. I don't necessarily have many complaints with the directing.
I mean, but like the performances from the actors, the way they shot the chase sequences and the action sequences, I was just like,
yeah.
But no, I mean, you're right. I mean, like if I saw in script and Indy goes into the shipwreck and he's like, there's the eels, which are the snakes of the sea. I'd be like, oh my God.
Yeah, that was a little cringe for sure. Yeah. Well, that's my thoughts. I think that's your thoughts on Jurassic World.
Yeah.
And more sequels. So let's get into your favorite topic of the day. And talk about the Oscars.
Yeah. So the Oscars, the nominations just got announced. And there's some controversy going on with the Oscars. There's always controversy, I feel like, with the Oscars.
Is it the Barbie controversy?
Yeah, we're gonna get into that too.
Okay.
But I thought, the Oscars are coming up. I've seen more than most years a good amount of the movies on here. Still not enough, and I'm gonna make it a point to watch a lot of these. before the Oscars happen, and we can check in before the Oscars happen and be like, these are the ones after watching all of these are the ones that I think should happen, and I hopefully I can get Ian to do it too. But
you might be able to.
But I thought we'd go over some of the topics, some of the controversy, and kind of see where my thinking is, and maybe where Ian's thinking is about who might win, who we think should have gotten some of these spots, blah, 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 blah. So I wanted to first start off with Best Picture. Mm-hmm. There is, I believe, 10 spots. There's American...
It's a lot.
Yeah. They increased it over the past, 5 years or so to, include more movies. Okay. So there's American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. All of these I'm extremely interested in.
So I would say I'm very interested in 3 of those that I haven't seen. I think that's The Holdovers. Was Killers of the Flower Moon on there?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then crap, I'm forgetting the third one. But yeah, no, there's a few in there that I definitely want to see. Yeah.
So I think everybody and their mom is thinking Oppenheimer, and to be complete, no complaints. If I do feel,
I'd be shocked if it doesn't get it.
Now, to be fair, I've only seen Oppenheimer, past Poor Things.
Poor Things was the other one I want to see,
and Barbie. Mm-hmm. But I've heard great things about The Holdovers. I've heard.
Could you imagine though if Barbie wins it?
But here's the thing, that I wouldn't be disappointed either. I'd be like, I think there's a lot of people who take for granted what that movie is, and we've talked about it before on the podcast.
And maybe I'm one of them.
Now, I did just see Oppenheimer again in IMAX for the re-release.
Oh yeah,
and it is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think if I had to pick, I would say Oppenheimer. It's just probably one of the most exciting movies about people just talking that you'll ever see. So
true. Yeah. No disagreements here.
And then so move on to Best Actor. From here on out, it's about five nominations: Bradley Cooper, Maestro; Coleman Domingo, Rustin; Paul Giamatti, The Holdovers; Cillian Murphy, Oppenheimer; and Jeffrey Wright, American Fiction. I've only seen one of these performers, so obviously I would say Cillian Murphy, Oppenheimer, but I have heard a lot of good things about Paul Giamatti and The Holdovers.
Yeah. I really do want to see that one.
And I really want to see that one as well.
So I am a little surprised though that Bradley Cooper was selected for this. I know there was a lot of controversy with his movie, and I don't know if you remember seeing that
because of the nose.
Yeah.
But it's a nose, and
no, I just know. I just didn't know if I didn't see the movie, so I don't know about it. But I didn't know if that was going to be a distracting element of the movie, and maybe it just doesn't get the critical acclaim that it would have if it didn't have such a distracting nose.
I think the main thing is it could be that people were saying it was distracting. My understanding was they thought it was kind of racist.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what I mean by people would be distracted by how racistly large the nose is.
I guess I like I said, I have to see the movie. I know that he spoke with the family and they expressed no problems with him with the nose.
Yeah,
but sure, but I don't know if the Oscars are willing to take off Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie. They don't have any issues with controversy, it would seem.
Sure.
So, but anyways, I would say Cillian Murphy, and I'm assuming Ian's gonna say Cillian Murphy too.
Yep.
Best Actress: Annette Bening for Naiad, Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon, Sandra Huller for Anatomy of a Fall, Carey Mulligan for Maestro, and then Emma Stone for Poor Things.
I've seen none of them.
You've seen none of them. I think it should go to Emma Stone. That was an incredible performance. I'm very excited to see the other performances here, especially Carey Mulligan and Lily Gladstone. But yeah, I mean, obviously I saw that movie. That was the only movie I saw, but
Right.
I think if she's gonna get because I think she's gotten an Oscar, and if not, like,
Has she?
I think
I don't know
so.
if she has.
But if not, this is a good one to put down there. Best Supporting Actor, which starts some of our controversy. Sterling K. Brown, American Fiction. Robert De Niro, Killers of the Flower Moon. I should mention Leonardo DiCaprio did not get a Best Actor. No.
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr., Oppenheimer. Ryan Gosling, Barbie, and then Mark Ruffalo, Poor Things. So, I've seen 3 of these performances. When I think about supporting a cast, like adding to the movie, I would definitely say that Robert Downey Jr. is probably the front runner because he didn't steal the show, but he did. But he also like just blended into the story so well.
Yeah, like to me, that's a true supporting character. Like in my mind, like Mark Ruffalo's and Poor Things, like that to me seems more like a very main character type. Like he's around for the movie a lot, from what I assume.
He's in it a good bit, but not the entire thing for sure.
And I would also say that maybe about Robert De Niro's character, even though I haven't seen it. From what I gather, it feels like he's a major character in the movie. I'm not saying like Robert Downey Jr. isn't, but for a lot of the movie, you don't see him. You know, he's not a foreground character.
So I would love for Robert Downey Jr. to get it, so he can have some more success post Iron Man.
I mean, I think just without him getting it, even him being nominated, him being in this movie, like he'll get it. You know, like he doesn't need an Oscar for it.
Right. Now, I think that Ryan Gosling more so kind of stole the show. But I love Ken so much.
If anything, like out of all of those roles, he feels like a main character than a supporting. Right.
And he probably won't get it. But
probably not.
But I would love it. I would love it.
Yeah. Is that your pick then?
It's the one I would like, but the one that like I feel like people are leaning towards is probably Robert Downey Jr.
Okay.
But I mean, it was Ken. I don't. Anyways, so that's how I feel about that. Best Supporting Actress: Emily Blunt, Oppenheimer. Danielle Brooks, The Color Purple. America Ferrera for Barbie, which was interesting. Jodie Foster, Nyad, and then Davine Joy Randolph, The Holdovers. I've heard a lot of people say Davine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers is like a sure thing. Like there's no way anybody else is getting that.
Okay.
I thought,
what was the first one you said again?
Emily Blunt with Oppenheimer.
Oh yeah, that was also a little surprising. I'm not sure I would have said that was like a really great performance, even though I think it's a really good one.
Well, actually, it's funny. Like when I first came out of Oppenheimer, I was like, oh, Emily Blunt doesn't seem like she did very much. After watching it a second time, she did so much.
No, I disagreed with you then. That like I still think she's an important part of it. I just don't know if like that's her strongest role for me that she's done. You know,
I thought she did a great job as Kitty.
Yeah,
like
no, I agree.
And then America Ferrera with Barbie, I just thought was so interesting because there has been a track record of Oscars going to supporting actress or supporting actor roles where they're not in the movie very much. Most notably for me, Anne Hathaway in Les Mis. She's in it for her scene, and for maybe like 9 minutes of the movie, if less. And she did her song. And she got the Oscar. She was not around very much. And like a lot of that movie's ideology came down to that America Ferrera,
sure,
what is a woman?
That speech, right?
And she's also like the catalyst to the story. She's causing Barbie to feel all these things.
She's important for sure.
I was a little shocked. I was a little surprised. I won't say shocked. I was a little surprised because in my head I wasn't thinking that. But
you weren't thinking, oh, stellar performance, you know.
But I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Until I see the holdovers, I'm going to say Emily Blunt. But that's where I'm going to go with that.
Okay.
Now, which we kind of brushed past it. Best Actress, Margot Robbie. Mm-hmm. But we have Ryan Gosling for Ken.
Right.
How do you feel about the exclusion of Margot Robbie on not being nominated?
So I would say that, like, I think her performance is maybe like a little bit better than his in the movie. If I'm like trying to compare and judge, I can't necessarily complain too much since I haven't seen the other 5 movies that are in that category. I think if I saw them, maybe I would say, oh, well, you know, those 5 deserve it more. Like those 5 actresses deserve more than her. You know, I think maybe it's not a case of utter discrimination. It's just that the guys category maybe wasn't as strong for supporting actor, and maybe the women's best actress was stronger. I don't know. But it does seem odd for him to be nominated and for her not to be.
It does.
I will say that. Yeah.
Ryan was expressing like there's no Ken without Barbie.
Yeah. I saw his letter.
And here's the thing. I think that I've not seen a majority of the best actress roles. Right. I think that's the only one I've seen. The only one I saw was Emma Stone.
Poor things, right?
When I watched Barbie, her performance is more nuanced and subtle than that of Ryan Gosling's Ken.
For sure.
But I didn't think that it was one of Margot's like stronger roles. But there's a lot of people who do associate her with like as Barbie now.
Sure.
And
yeah, no, I would definitely say she has other better roles, but this is definitely a really good one.
I feel like she should have been included. Even though maybe I didn't necessarily think like it was one of her best performances, I still think that considering like Barbie got all these awards, best movie, best supporting actor, best soundtrack, best supporting actress with America Ferrera. Like she should have at least gotten, put in it, and maybe I'll change my mind after I see the performances from the other women in the category.
Right.
It's just maybe I didn't love it, but it feels a little fucked up, especially like a movie about Barbie with everything that it talks about, yet the man in the movie gets nominated,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you look at it that way, it's really messed. Yeah. Also, Greta Gerwig not being nominated is a huge.
So we move on to best.
I think if anything, out of everybody involved with that movie, she's the one who needs to be nominated.
Right. So we move on to best director, and the Greta Gerwig one is the one that makes me the most angry. Like I am actually very upset. You have Jonathan Glazer, The Zone of Interest, Yorgos Lanthimos for Poor Things, Christopher Nolan, Oppenheimer, Martin Scorsese, Killers of the Flower Moon, and Justin Triet, Anatomy of a Fall. Now, I know there's only 5 spots. So, out of the 2 movies I've seen on there, I haven't seen the other ones. I don't know if I'd want to knock them off, but like...
Did I hear you right? Was that all male directors?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, there's another... Yep.
Unless Justine is a woman, I don't know. But I thought it might be Justin. I don't know. But Barbie was all direction, and it's the highest grossing movie of the year. People love that movie, but for some reason we can't give Greta Gerwig a best director. I just feel so like she's been one of the most like out of all these directors, in recent memories, like there are people dressing up as Greta Gerwig, like behind the scenes as their Halloween like costumes. She's so present and popular with a lot of people our age, and an important director. And yet, like the movie that has arguably put her in more of the mainstream than ever, and she did a fantastic job. They don't give her a best director, which is, I mean,
I would argue more that it's a shame that like this movie that was basically 100% her vision that she cooked like doesn't, like, you know, other people get nominated for their performances, but not the actual, you know, visualization of it. And I would not necessarily agree with like the point where like, oh, well, she's super popular because it shouldn't be a popular contest. But yeah, no, I do think, yeah, it's a shame that somebody who created the whole thing and created it really well doesn't get to have that nomination.
What I want to say about the popularity thing is I think she's popular because she's made really good work.
Okay. Yeah.
And that is, let alone you see that and it's like, you know, because you don't see directors, you know, like you can be a pop star and maybe make subpar music, but like you, and you can be popular, but you don't see directors making subpar movies getting, you know, attention the way that she does, or like Martin Scorsese does. Like you have to make good, like you are popular because of your work and then your personality on top of that.
Yeah, I mean, Christopher Nolan is only now just getting recognized in public from what I hear. So like the fact that it took him, that's what Robert Downey Jr. said. That's
he's being recognized in public. Oh, I see.
Right.
Okay. I see what you're saying. That is wild.
Yeah, isn't it? I'm just like, how did it take this long for people to realize what he looks like, or like for him to get this popular?
Right.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, I am a huge Christopher Nolan fan, and I would love for him to get his best director.
Yeah, I can't believe
Oscar.
He's only been nominated once, and this is his second time. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, well, you know, the Oscars have a very hard time with putting science fiction and superhero things in their movies, so...
Yeah, that's true. This is his most normal movie to date, in a way. So maybe Dunkirk would have gotten nominated. Maybe I would have thought that, but
so yeah, I mean, I would love for Christopher Nolan to get it. You know,
yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Best animated feature film: The Boy and the Heron, Elemental, Nimona, Robot Dreams, and then Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
So it's what I will say about this one, real quick. A huge snub for Mutant Mayhem. Humongous.
Oh, yeah.
Gigantic snub. I'm shocked it's not on there. I saw it on a ton of people's prediction Oscars that it would have been on there, and it was not.
You're right.
Crazy.
You're right.
Yeah.
I gotta agree with you. That is a big snub. I didn't even really think about that. But this one, I feel like is a no-brainer. It's Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
I don't know, man. I mean, I think what realistically will probably happen is Boy and the Heron.
It shouldn't get it. I'm sorry. It's not that good. It's not that good.
Yeah.
It's not as good as Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah. Did the first one get nominated? Did it win? Do you know?
Yeah.
Did it won its category?
I believe so, yeah.
All right. Yeah, so it has a good chance for sure. I wasn't sure if they would snub it again for like, you know, being a superhero movie. But yeah, it could definitely win.
It's an amazing movie, amazingly put together. It's so creative. It's
a really good Spider-Man movie. I'll give it that.
It's a really good movie.
Yeah. You know, I have some problems with the structure.
Right.
That's all.
Right. Okay.
That's all. Yeah.
Now, this one also makes me mad. Everything. I don't know why people have such an issue with Barbie. Adapted screenplay. Adapted, by the way. Not original, adapted. American fiction. Barbie, which we'll talk about. Oppenheimer.
How is that?
Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. So, the Writers Guild of America, most every other award show has put Barbie as original screenplay, but for some god awful reason. Reason. the Oscars have put it under adapted, which makes absolutely no sense to me.
So I was Oppenheimer based off of like a book? Is that
It's based off of American Prometheus.
okay? I don't think I knew that.
Like,
But yeah, maybe I did, because wasn't it Pattinson that gave Christopher Nolan that book? I think it was.
It might have been.
Yeah,
but
I think it might have been.
like how the movie starts, and they even reference it in the movie, like, you're the American Prometheus. You're the one who gave them the fires.
Remember,
that they
I
used to
came in
destroy
late.
themselves. Oh,
So I didn't see that.
okay. You haven't seen it since the time we saw it,
We saw it together.
or I didn't see it with you. So you've only seen it the one time.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've only seen it one time. Yeah. Yeah, that's it is interesting.
Because
I don't
it's
think
a
I would've-
toy line.
I mean, it's not like she based it off of any storyline that existed beforehand. Like, I don't
Exactly.
see how you can say that's adapted.
And she also created these characters' personalities.
Right.
It's
Right.
It's so ridiculous.
So yeah,
I just feel like
she probably wouldn't even want to win that award. I mean, I don't know if I would.
I just feel like it just like
Yeah.
it's just such a slap in the face to Noah Baumbach and Greta Gerwig that, like, not that like adapted screenplays aren't great in their own ways, because they are, but like, it was like, it feels like this was from the ground up, like a whole brand new story that was being told. And to be like, oh yeah, well, it's adapted because it's a toy.
Right.
I don't understand it.
That's such a loose definition of adapted.
Like, yes,
Yeah.
there were movies made, like animated movies,
Right.
but they were like Rapunzel and like the Nutcracker.
It wasn't anything like the movie or any of the characters from. I mean, yes, it's Barbie and Ken, but it's like that's the only thing you can say is adapted. Is like you got the characters from a toy line that were also made movies out of. Like, I don't know, they're being super nitpicky with that. That's really, really odd.
Yeah. So I mean, if I had, and here's the thing. With that being said, if Barbie's on the list for adapted screenplay versus Oppenheimer, I'm gonna say Barbie, because Oppenheimer.
That's odd.
Why?
I mean, but Oppenheimer's the adapted. Like we were just saying that's not the adapted.
But
so why would you give it to it?
Because because it deserves. If you're putting it in this stupid category that it doesn't belong in,
Okay,
I'd rather it get it.
It deserves a award for screenplay.
Like, it's getting,
you're saying.
it's getting fucked. And I will say that the script for Barbie is so imaginative and creative. And I think that the screenplay for Oppenheimer is amazing. I wouldn't give it to Poor Things. Poor Things is kind of a bit odd with that. But
here's the thing though. Like, is Barbie like actually truly getting fucked at the Oscars? Because like it's already nominated for 3 categories. Like, that is pretty big for any movie.
But you have the director gone, and you have the lead actress gone.
Yeah.
And
sure.
now you're fucking it on the screenplay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
When all the rest of these are based off of books.
You're not wrong.
Anyways, I would like it to go to Barbie because it's being absolutely fucked.
Yeah.
And I also think it's a great screenplay. I think it's truly what they did was amazing. So that's what I'll say. What do you think? I'm assuming you're going to say Oppenheimer.
Yeah, I would just say Oppenheimer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Original screenplay. I've not seen any of the movies, so I can't really say anything about it. So we can kind of skip that one. Visual effects, The Creator, Godzilla -1, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Maybe not Part 1 anymore. And then Napoleon.
I think you're going to say Godzilla.
No.
Okay. So what? The Creator?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a little surprised.
I didn't like The Creator, but those effects felt so realistic and well done that I did feel immersed and I did believe what I was seeing. I just didn't like the movie.
I would love to give this one to Guardians, but I would agree with you. I think the creator is like near perfect visuals, and I think unfortunately we've seen other Guardians movies maybe look even better than Guardians 3. So not that Guardians 3 looks bad at all. I'm just saying like it's nothing like crazy new. And I think the creator is a new type of, maybe not new type of genre of like visualization, but it is fresh, you know?
Right.
So,
and I think like Guardians of the Galaxy, I would love for like the people who made like Rocket and his friends. I mean, those animals looked great. Like they really did. And
yeah, maybe that's where you should kind of put your vote into, is the animal section of it. Same with the I'm forgetting the guy's name. The villain. The effects on like his face were incredible.
The High Evolutionary.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would be happy with Guardians, and I'd be happy with the creator. Godzilla, I'm kind of surprised because, to be honest, there's some scenes in there where it was like that didn't look particularly great.
Okay. Interesting.
But it's a great movie.
Yeah.
And there are some really good visual effects for sure. But I would have even argued, like, I feel like people would troll on it, but like you could put the Flash in there, you know, and like
I'm sorry, you can't. Look, people, I think people have a right to complain about the last portion of that movie.
I know.
And it is visually, it's not great. It is kind of a mess at points. So I think just because of that portion, I think I have to, and here's the thing. I think there are like some scenes where you're like, okay, I mean, this is like, it's not like horribly clearly CGI, but it's like, you can tell the baby going into the microwave is a CGI baby.
Yeah,
you know, it's just like there are some moments,
but it's not, you know? It's not necessarily like visual effects don't necessarily have to be like the lifelikeness about it. It just has to enhance the story. It has to do its job. And I had fun with it. I enjoyed the visual effects of the Flash.
Yeah, I did too. Like 90 to 95% of that movie, I think, has really great visual effects. But yeah, there are some moments where it just falls short. Probably like Godzilla.
Yes. And then I'll try to get through these pretty quickly because I know we're running long on it. Original score, American Fiction, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
They nominated that because it was John Williams. That's it.
Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things. Oppenheimer.
Yeah, Oppenheimer.
Incredible.
One of the best scores I've probably ever heard. So
it's in memes. It's so good. Original song, It Never Went Away from American Symphony. I'm Just Ken from Barbie. What Was I Made For from Barbie. The Fire Inside from Flaming Hot. And Wazahazi, a song for my people from Killers of the Flower Moon. I'm sorry if I fucked that up. What Was I Made For with Barbie. That movie, that song is the epitome of what that movie is about. It's beautiful. It deserves to win. I love I'm Just Ken, but What Was I Made For is the true like pinnacle of that movie.
Weirdly, that song, like the What Was I Made For, doesn't stick out as well in my mind as just like I'm Just Ken. But I could agree with you. I don't have a problem with that one winning. Although I do have a feeling that song from Killers of the Flower Moon is gonna like be amazing. So maybe I'll change my mind once I see that.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It's on Apple, so I think I'm gonna try to watch it this weekend.
Dude, you gotta send me that login info.
I will, or we can watch it this Friday potentially.
I would love that.
Cinematography: El Condi, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Poor Things. Oppenheimer. Yep. Poor Things. It's got some really interesting cinematography, but at times it's a little distracting. So I'll just say that. Costume design: Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things. I would say Barbie. I thought the costume design.
Sure. Yeah. No, that was great. Yeah.
Film editing: Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things.
I've only seen one. So I mean, my vote.
But like, I would just say in general, the editing in Oppenheimer is orgasmic. It is.
It's
so good.
Yeah.
Sound, the creator, Maestro, Mission Impossible, Oppenheimer, Zone of Interest.
Oppenheimer.
The sound,
I'm sorry. The sound in that movie, I can't get over it.
It's so good. Yeah.
It's so good. Yeah.
And then lastly, production design, Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things. This one's tough, but considering
it could be Barbie.
I want to go with Barbie.
Wait, was Poor Things in there?
Yes.
I mean, from what I see,
but the production design of Poor Things is also incredible.
It looks incredible, right? So maybe that deserves it. I don't know.
Because I could give it to Oppenheimer too, because I believed that we were in, what was that town in New Mexico that they built the Manhattan Project? Like, I believed we were there.
Yeah, no, for sure. I just think the other two are like definitely maybe more of a challenge and more of a creative overtaking.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I definitely think Oppenheimer deserves to be in that nominee list.
Yeah. And that's all of the Oscars. So,
nice.
Like I said, I'm going to try to watch the majority of these and then check in before the awards show comes on.
Yeah, I'll try and watch some of these with you as well.
Cool.
Alrighty. Well, that's our thoughts on the Oscars. Next up, we got a lot of interesting news about the new Sonyverse movie. Maybe not Sonyverse, Madam Web.
Right.
Yeah. So basically the two, and these are, I think, kind of rumors / reports. So take them with a grain of salt, maybe. But from what we're hearing is that, this one is confirmed, is that the movie takes place in 2003. There's a ton of evidence online that like a lot of the posters, a lot of the cars, a lot of the advertisements are straight from 2003. And because of that, the reports, rumors are that they were trying to at first link this movie to Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man and have it kind of be like, the origin, I guess, before Amazing Spider-Man, and have him then be the Sonyverse Spider-Man going forward. When that didn't work out, they pivoted to Tom Holland. And when that didn't work out, they apparently have now scrubbed this movie of everything Spider-Man and are setting it in its own universe, separate from the Sony universe. And the reason they did that was apparently because when they set it to 2003, like the timeline didn't match up maybe with like one of the Spider-Man they were going to pick. So they were just like, we'll just scrap it. Yeah.
What kind of forethought is that?
It's this movie sounds just as much of a mess, if not even more of a mess than Morbius.
You mean amazing?
Sorry, you're right. I mean amazing. Yeah, Morbius
Spider-Man.
Masterpiece. Yeah. So yeah, it's I'm a little surprised. Maybe I shouldn't be, about how bad Sony's planning is for these movies. I don't understand how anyone has any incentive to see this now, because it looks terrible, and then two, it's not connected to anything. It's not connected to their current Sony universe, and it's not connected to any Spider-Man.
I mean,
so you're like, what do we take away from this?
I thought that at least I thought the point of this movie was to actually bring in Spider-Man, because I was under the impression, and I said, like you said, these are kind of rumors, some of them, but I was under the impression that but
Ben Parker and May Parker, I think, are rumored to both, like, young versions of those are both rumored to be in the movie as well.
Right, but those are his uncles. I think it's like his parents are the paramedics in the movie, and and I thought the villain, who looks a lot like Spider-Man,
a little bit, yeah. I feel it's like a really bad knockoff version of Spider-Man. I'll say that.
Is trying to kill them, and she has the power to foresee things that would happen through actions. And I thought the whole point was he was trying to kill them, so Spider-Man never happens. But now we're not a part of the Venomverse. Maybe we'll get Spider-Man in it. I don't know. But you said they take all the Spider-Man out, and I'm like, now that I hear like the forethought, it's like, oh, let's write this whole movie, and then we'll add in our Spider-Man, and it all hinges on 2003.
Right.
Like, it's just like, so
it's crazy.
But I will say, like, the movie does not look good. I don't think most people are excited about this. I think it comes out next month.
February. Yeah, I think same as Morbius.
I don't think.
No, that was March. Sorry.
I don't think anybody knows this movie's coming out to begin with. And this all just sounds
like mainstream audiences. Yeah.
This all just sounds insane to me. Like, they're not gonna have you're still not gonna have Spider-Man. You are like you're not having any Spider-Man. You're not connecting it to any of the rest of the Sonyverse that you've been building up. It's just like,
well, yeah, barely, but yeah.
Right.
Like I'm still shocked, and I still think it's the best route forward is if you just place in a new actor as Spider-Man. Just like have a new Spider-Man and just have him start appearing in all your movies, because nobody else wants to be in your universe. I think that's truly it. I wouldn't be surprised if both Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland were like, yeah, I'm okay, you know, and maybe that's the reason, maybe it's not, but I think really your best bet is sticking with a new one, and I don't even think you have to create an origin movie or his own movie. He could just be like the established Spider-Man in the universe, and you keep running into him with every villain.
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe they'll eventually do that and wise up, but I don't know. Their planning just seems terrible.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of hope for this movie.
No, like 1%.
I won't lie. I am intrigued as to
sure how bad it will be.
I'm intrigued at the plot for sure. Like I am. I'm genuinely intrigued, but it's so like the character of Madam Web is like nothing like she actually is. She's a completely new character, it would seem. And
they keep doing this though. Like with every villain, they're just a new iteration.
But she's not so much a villain necessarily. She's just kind of like a conduit of sorts.
Okay. I don't know much about Madam Web, to be honest,
but yeah, I don't have a whole lot of hope. I
don't know how you could.
And I was thinking 2003, similar timeline. Similar time period.
It's a year after Tobey Maguire.
Right.
Yeah.
What if they, like, this is just like a rumor and it's not true. Everything that we're saying. What if they're like, oh, it's they introduced a Spider-Man and it's Tobey Maguire. They like de-aged him. How?
I would hate it. One, because it touches that trilogy then, which I think is a terrible thing to do. And then two, the massive amount of de-aging I don't think would look great. And I would be disappointed that he chose those, like that project to come back for. Like I think he should hold the character with some integrity, and I think he should refuse, him and Andrew Garfield should refuse most offers from Sony.
Or even like fast forward in the future and it's like present day, you know, something happens present day.
That'd be cool. If we get to see, like maybe if they were to set it up at the end, like with the present day and Tobey Maguire's there, like maybe I could get behind that if it sets up a true Spider-Man 4. But if it doesn't, then this movie still sucks. So
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's just wild to me. So
yeah, it is. Well, lastly here, we're going to talk about some more Daredevil news. I know we talked about Daredevil last week. but yeah, we got some news. I think they're starting filming this week or next week. And it's definitely confirmed now that Deborah Ann Wool and the actor who plays Foggy are coming back. And it's also been reported that the 18 episodes we were originally going to get is not happening. Basically, yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio said it's constantly fluctuating. And what we're now hearing is that it's probably going to be more like the Netflix like series where it's like a 13 episode season, which I still think is a huge improvement for Marvel. And so I haven't seen season 3 of Daredevil, but apparently they introduced Bullseye in that season.
You haven't seen season 3?
No, I haven't.
Oh man, you gotta watch season 3.
And so yeah, apparently they're bringing Bullseye back. From what I hear, is 3 episodes.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of Daredevil news. I think all of it sounds great. From what all the fans are saying is that the Bullseye actor is fantastic.
Oh yeah, he's great. It's really good.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen him in anything else. But yeah, I mean, it really, like, all of those, like the episode count, the side characters, all 3 of those side characters returning. I think it's truly showing that this is going to be a season 4. I would almost be surprised if they call it Daredevil like Born Again, and rather just kind of stick with the old. Like I could totally see them coming back with like the exact same logo and just saying Daredevil season 4, because like all 3 of those seasons are canon now.
I don't think they'll do that, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't think they will.
I do think from what I hear, there's kind of like a basically like with renaming the show, they get to work around those rules with like keeping like the contracts the same, so they wouldn't have to pay them as much, right? So you're probably right. They will stick with Daredevil Born Again. I'm just curious what the time jump is looking like now. Like, how long has it been since season 3 of Daredevil? What is all going on in his life now?
Well, you could technically, if you look at the timeline that they put out, you would know. True.
That's fair. I haven't looked at Disney Plus timeline that they've put out, so I'll have to look at that.
It's near like Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I think.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to fill some time in and put in some other thoughts, I'll put it. I'll find it.
Sure. Yeah. So I don't know if I have much more to say on Daredevil, but I do think this is all great news for Daredevil fans. I think, speaking on the timeline order, I think it's hard to place those in like definitive spots, because I feel like all the seasons, like for the Defenders series, like not just Defenders, but like, Iron Fist and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, I feel like they like all season 1s happen around the same time, and then like all the season 2s are happening like in conjunction with each other. So I don't know, maybe it's not as complicated as I think it is, but it almost feels like you would have to like just lump in all the Defenders series into like the same era, even though I think it spans multiple years. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, here's my thoughts on the news that we got with like Bullseye and thing. I'm very excited to have Bullseye a part of like going forward with this. And I don't know. I'm not too bummed out about the 18 episodes, to be honest. I'm excited to like go back to like, but even on
13's fine.
Even 13 is a little over double than what we normally get on Disney Plus. So
right, which is why I was like, this is still a huge improvement for Disney Plus.
But here's the timeline, Ian. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I Am Groot, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Age of Ultron, Ant-Man, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, The Defenders, Civil War, Black Widow.
Wait, so what was before Luke Cage?
Ant-Man.
Okay, Age of Ultron, then Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
And then after The Defenders is Civil War, Black Widow, Black Panther, Homecoming, and then The Punisher.
Wow. I'm a little shocked Punisher so far after the Defender series.
So I mean, it's gonna be a significant time. I mean, like I'm assuming Daredevil season 3.
At that point, you would think it's like at the end of 2016, maybe is when it ends, or like in 2016, because like
so like around
season 1
Civil
started in
War.
2014.
So around Civil War.
Yeah, and then if you put it in the terms of like, well, wow. So yeah, and in universe, I think it's like 2026 now. So yeah, that's definitely like it's been 10 years since we've last seen Daredevil. Really, I mean, we've seen him once in No Way Home and once in She-Hulk,
right?
And that's been it, really.
Echo.
Oh, and once in Echo, yeah. But I think I want to say that's a flashback sequence from what I heard. We both have not seen it, right? Yeah. Do we want to make a commitment here on the podcast that we're going to review it next episode, or? I'm guessing that's a no. We don't have to.
I want to. It's just.
Yeah, it's only 5 episodes. You know,
it's only 5 episodes out of my whole week. That's almost 5 hours of my whole week.
I feel you. Yeah. And they're not like the shortest of episodes. I think the first one's like 50 minutes.
Unless you want to completely crush the whole series when we hang out.
Yeah, I don't think our other friend would be into that, to be honest.
Right.
So, yeah, maybe not, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
we'll review it at some point. But yeah, it's all good news, and yeah, I'm not upset. I think this is all good changes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Well, yeah, that's it for our topics this week. I don't think I actually watched anything besides football this week. So I think the floor is all yours on the what we watched section.
Yeah. So I like I said earlier in the podcast, I went to see Oppenheimer for the reissue in IMAX.
Mm-hmm.
And it's even potentially better a second watch.
Nice.
I was affected by things much more than I was the first time. Namely, like things with Emily Blunt's Kitty's character and Jean, who was played by Florence Pugh. Mm-hmm. So stuff with those two in particular affected me much, much more this time around. And then I could kind of, after watching it again, I could kind of know what I know, and then I'll see visual cues. There's stomping in the bleachers at a certain point, and that scene is not for a long time later in the movie. But if you know what the bleacher scene is,
right, then
you're seeing how he's reacting to it, you're like, oh, so, and it's so interesting. Nice. So there's just little things like that, and yeah, I mean it's amazing. It's just so good. I
don't know if we've said it enough on this podcast.
Right. And then I have been watching Fargo season 5, and oh my god, it's so good.
By the way, I've only ever watched the movie, so I've never seen any of the show.
It's so true. Like, it's so good. We actually saw the movie in the Bird Theater in Richmond, and like recently, and it was just like I forgot how amazing that movie is. And I've been watching Fargo for a while now, the show, and like seasons 1 through 4. 1 is incredible. The rest of them are still pretty good and great. Some more than others. But this season, it just like they take the original concept of the first movie and they kind of flip it on its head in a really exciting way, and then it becomes something else. Oh my god, I just lowered myself significantly.
Oh no.
And it's just I'm like floored. Like I cannot wait and all the episodes are out. Like I cannot wait to get to the next episode. Like it's just so intense and captivating and good. Like it's just it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have to watch some Fargo.
Oh my God. And every season's like a new story, you know? So
right.
It's so amazing. John Hamm's amazing. Juno
I mean,
Temple's,
I love the movie. So.
Yeah. And you know, I'm trying to keep up with Percy Jackson.
Yep.
And I think that's kind of been about it. But yeah, oh my God, Fargo. So good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I did finish that Ted episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, still, it's basically that first episode is like their origin story, if you want to look at it that way. Where basically, I won't spoil too much, but you basically like figure out why John and Ted are huge pot smokers. That's kind of like the big intro to the season.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, no, it's a really fun first episode. I'd recommend it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all we've watched this week. And that's all we're going to talk about here on the Last Week This Week episode 43 podcast.
Is that what we're called now? The Last Week This Week episode 43 podcast?
Yeah. That's our full name now. We're always on episode 43.
Last Week This Week episode 43 podcast. Signing out.
Yeah, so I just choked on my spit a little bit there. I just want to thank you all for watching and listening. If you're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Podbean, if you're on YouTube watching us, we appreciate everybody who's just supporting the show. Yeah, and we also would love some more support from you if you choose to. We would love a like, a comment, a rating, a review, or subscribe,
or a share.
Sure, a share. Share us with your friends, and
they're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe what these fucking dickheads are saying about my favorite thing."
Yeah. Tell your friends that we only like Oppenheimer and and nothing else from this past year.
Yeah.
And I think my audio just... Oh, hold on. There we go. I'm back. My audio just cut out for a second there, I think.
Yeah, that was weird. I don't know why I did that.
That was weird. I don't know why I did that. But yeah, glad that happened at the end of the podcast. Yeah, thank you again for supporting us. That's all I gotta say.
Holy shit. I don't know what happened, but yeah, thank you so much. I don't really know how to end this now, but until next time.
Like you always do.
Yeah, until next time.